Hey everyone. So, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about now these one off sales that I kind of wanted to mention earlier. What's a one off sale? How does it happen? How do you make money on Zazzle with it? If it's the decision that you want to take to make when you're making this Zazzle thing happen for yourself. We said earlier about the bulk order sales, how those type of products that are bulk order type products are the ones that generate typically more sales, typically because that's the demand. And to be honest, typically that's what um, people are looking for. There's more out there that relate to bulk order products in terms of customers. There's more customers, excuse me, that are looking for bulk order products. But there are people who exist that want to buy certain products like these, right? Now, these aren't products that you would typically buy in a bulk scenario, like this one, this one, this one, or this one. They're not typically the type of products you would buy in that sort of scenario. However, what I will say is you can still make sales by selling them. Now, how do you make sales by selling them? Well, let's break down how it logically happens. There's only a few ways that it happens, maybe even two ways. The first way is somebody performs a Google search for the product or something similar. Now, they're not necessarily thinking of your product, but they're thinking of a product that comes similar to their mind. So, for example, let's click on this product here. This is called an elegant, modern watercolor leaves pattern navy blue throw pillow. If I Google this, we'll hit search. The product does show up here in the popular products section. Now, you have to realize that this search by itself is not a popular search, okay, by any means. Uh, for those who don't know, this is what's referred to as a long tail keyword search term. What is a long tail keyword search term? What is a short tail? Every keyword has what we call tails. A short tail keyword is a keyword that typically has less tails than a longer tail keyword. And when we refer to a short tail keyword alone, when it's not compared to any other keywords, it just means that it has one word. So the word elegant, if this was the only keyword, is a short tail keyword. However, the word elegant is not a e-commerce keyword that reflects any sort of intent, right? Because anything can be elegant. Elegant what? Elegant clothing, elegant dress, elegant dinner, elegant, it can mean anything. So these are what we call tails, right? So the word elegant, modern, watercolor leaves pattern. The more tails we add to a keyword, the more specific our search is. And really what that means is the more intent we have for a specific search. Whenever you hear marketers talk about intent-based search, they mean that keywords reflect the intent of the individual. So in this case, we can tell the intent is of a product. Well, most people, when they are very serious about buying something, there's high intent. So, for example, if I wanted to purchase a hat, I'm not going to search just hat on Google. I'm probably going to search a hat and the characteristics of the hat that I'm looking for. So, for example, red hat or red velvet hat or red suede hat, right? I'll be specific about what I'm looking for so I can see the product that comes up, kind of like in this circumstance. Now, if you notice, when we perform an exact keyword search term match, just like right here, the product does exist. So what we have to do if we want to get these one-off type sales, which once again, I don't always recommend, but if that's what we want to do, then what we really need to do is we need to reverse engineer the process. We have to think in I guess you could say, in the reverse of what would normally occur. And what would normally occur is people would say, for example, you have to think of what people are saying or what people want. So let's say people want a white throw pillow with blue patterns. If that's something that people want and you know people want it, then you go create a product with those exact keyword terms in your title. Does that make sense? That's the first step. So how do you actually get these one-off type product sales? And mind you, this is just like Redbubble, Merch by Amazon, all these different places. Somebody finds the product through Google and it has an exact keyword search term match for the title as what the consumer is actually searching for. Now that's hard because you don't know what people are searching for exactly, but you can kind of predict. Let me show you. So if we go to Google here, this is like just a little trick. Here is a search bar, right? If I type in throw pillow, okay, we have different recommendations of what people are searching for, right? So if we type in throw pillows here, we have search recommendations. If I type in here golden throw pillow, you can see there's different keywords here. Now, I use paid keyword search tools, and I'll show you different softwares in the future. But this is just a small learning lesson, just a kind of quick, free learning lesson, just to show you what I mean. Now, personally, like I said, I use paid tools. I don't use just these free ones because these are generally a little bit more higher competition as well. The fact that they even pop up here means that they're highly searched for and they're in high demand. I want to look for things that are in demand but low competition, which really just means that they're in demand few amount of times, but enough times for me to actually get sales and not have high enough competition that slow me down. But in general, this is kind of the way it works. So we know that people are searching for golden retriever throw pillows. Well, we can reverse engineer the process and we can create the product, right? Create the golden retriever throw pillows on Zazzle and then just wait for the customer to find ours and then we get a sale. That works on Etsy, that works on Redbubble, it works on Zazzle. And if you notice, when you sell these one-off products, that's essentially what you're doing. You're converting the Zazzle platform that was once customizable into a platform that is kind of a one-off. Because a consumer who wants a throw pillow of a golden retriever, there's nothing for them to really edit. They're just going to purchase the product unless you add some sort of editable component. Now, if you do add an editable component to a one-off type sale product, you're not really increasing your chances of a sale per se, especially on Zazzle, because remember, you're gaining your sale through Google. You're not necessarily gaining it through Zazzle. People that come to Zazzle for Zazzle are typically of the customer base or the demographic that knows they have to buy products in a bulk order kind of concept. That's why people come to Zazzle to begin with. In fact, products are actually quite expensive on Zazzle when you buy them as a one-off. There's a number of websites where you could find the exact same pillow for maybe half the price. So, put that in mind. Keep that in mind because it is quite severe if on your earnings if you sit there and you say, okay, I'm just going to create a bunch of one-off products that are definitely going to succeed. You can't really claim that because the reason why people are coming to Zazzle is because they know of Zazzle and their platform and they've felt comfortable with it. But more importantly, they're coming to it because they know that there are bulk order products that have been for sale, and that's what they're specifically looking for. So you're not really tapping into that customer base. You really have to tap into the Google search customer base that then gets you products. There's another way to get these one-off sales, which is through social media, but that would require you to do your own kind of marketing and your own kind of effort and time and energy, which, to be honest, as crazy as this sounds, it's not something I recommend. The only reason I do things like print on demand like this is to take advantage of the marketplace-based platform, the customers that are effectively served to me on a golden platter. I don't have to go out and necessarily find them. And that's exactly why people gravitate towards marketplace platforms so that they don't have to do their own marketing. If I wanted to do my own marketing, I'd open up separate websites or stores that I privately own and where I can get higher profit margins, which is something that I do have or I've had at many points in time before I sold plenty of my websites. But the point here is that one-off type products have a very specific formula to be sold within these marketplace platforms, especially if you're not taking advantage of the marketplace platform. And once again, this marketplace platform is primarily it's for customization. It's not really for these one-off products, but now you kind of understand how you could get them if that's what you're looking for. So hopefully that helps.